Welcome to EdTech Tuesday. I'm Jennifer Gibson.
And I'm Rich Dixon.
All right, what do you have for us today?
All right, I have an app called Jörgits and the End of Winter.
I liked how you pronounced that.
Thank you very much. This was created by a group of authors and animators in Finland, and it's an interactive story.
Okay,
and
I like that.
You're going to see it listed as Jörgits on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that app now. Something to note is that this is free.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And another thing that I love about this app is that it's an interactive story that's geared more for intermediate students. By my reckoning, it's probably roughly around a 5th grade reading level.
All right.
Now, of course, younger students can certainly interact with it, but it's really nice to find a content-heavy interactive book for the intermediate grades.
No, and I agree with you. I've been looking for more and more of those, and I'm glad you found one like this. It's beautiful. The graphics are great.
So simply, the storyline goes like this. There's a bunch of space travelers, and they're coming from a very cold planet. And their goal is to find a warm planet on which to go on vacation. Specifically, they want to visit the Hawaiian Islands.
Nice.
There's a little bit of a mishap, though, and their spacecraft crashes in Helsinki, Finland, in the middle of winter.
So not so nice. Okay.
Not so nice. So I'm going to give you an overview here of what this story looks like. Of course, there's different chapters. There is a hard print copy of this book that is roughly 250 pages.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's pretty
Okay.
extensive and costs $40. It's a pretty limited edition.
Okay.
But regardless, just to give you an idea, there's a number of different chapters.
Is it the same amount of pages?
It's not as
Okay.
many pages online here. So let's take a look here at
Right.
the actual text. So we can see that we begin the story here, and then there's something called a soundscape. So there's an interactive feature inside of here, inside of the soundscape, and there's a whole track of audio that goes along with this, a soundtrack essentially. And students can actually visit the website separately and listen to those. And there's interaction, of course, that takes place here. There's different features such as maps that give students an opportunity to interact spatially with different geography around this adventure. And so the story continues, and again, just about every section has some sort of interactivity bit. But what I like is that the interaction doesn't pull the readers off task. That's something that a lot of interactive books, in my opinion, can really walk a fine line between distracting readers with those interactive features and
You
keeping
make
them
a
on
good point.
target.
You do make a good point here, and I really love the graphical images that they've done for this. They're very intriguing. One thing I noticed is the font is quite small. Does can you control that?
Well,
or?
with the iPad, and again, we're looking at with the iPad version, you really cannot.
And you are on the Mini,
And
too.
we are on the Mini. I cannot expand that, nor am I getting a larger font. So
Okay.
that is something to keep in mind. It is roughly the same size font as a small chapter book
Yeah.
or trade book or a
It
small.
looks like, though, it's
textbook.
smaller than a 12. We're looking at like maybe a 10
Yeah,
or a
you might
9
need to
here.
get a little bit closer. So
Okay.
this certainly wouldn't be the kind of text that you could put up on a screen, say Apple TV or a LCD projector, and have your students read seamlessly from afar.
Okay.
But it is a great, great way to go.
Any features that read back to the students with this app?
No.
Okay.
But again, there is a great level of story development, and then we can control this at any point in time by simply flipping through, and you can see the chapters and quickly jump ahead.
Okay.
A couple different features, though, that I do want to point out. There's a couple icons up here. We get a list of characters. Because it is
I
an
like
involved
that.
story, it's a really nice way to go. I can click on Jenny, for example, and I get a little bit about what's going on here. And the reason I want to point this out is that, unfortunately, Jenny doesn't have any tweets, but the
I
humorous
was
part...
just looking at that. What is that feature?
So let's take a look at Pekka. And he has these little tweets that he's done.
Okay.
And just as a heads up as well, some of the characters have tweets that include an image on Instagram. And it's really, really fun to see. This is going to launch a browser.
So they really tied this in with social media.
Absolutely. And
How
I do want to make sure, I
fun.
guess in this case, it's not Instagram. Others are. This one goes straight to Facebook. So you do want to be heads up on the social media connections.
Okay.
And just be aware of that.
So you're really looking at this for intermediate through middle school.
Absolutely,
All
yeah.
right.
And I think, again, this is a great resource. One other thing I want to mention to you as well is that when you find something, I found a map earlier, as I mentioned, each of these discoveries can be revisited at any point in
So
time
there's
to help
hidden
navigate.
features and
Yes.
Okay. So any comprehension features with this?
There's really not, unfortunately. So you're really kind of on your own as a teacher to be able to make up any comprehension questions or any other activities that are around
What
this.
about bookmarks? So if you're reading the story and you want to come back to the same place, does it allow you to bookmark?
All right, so let's take a look at just table of contents here, but no bookmarks that I have been able to find so far. But you can pick up and leave off in the same spot. So you whoever's reading it last, it's going to start in that same spot. So
So
again,
if you're sharing it, somebody would have to note where they left off.
absolutely.
Wow, I think it looks like a fabulous app. Pros and cons?
You know, a couple different things that I would say of pros and cons with this is that if you're looking for any intervention material or any ways that we can help with remediation, probably not going to find this. This is just simply text and an interactive story. So in terms of meeting the needs of a student population that's diverse,
Okay.
it may not be as strong as other
And
apps.
you talked about a teacher needing to write the comprehension kind of questions and,
Yes.
and things like that, so which we do all the time.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so
And this is free. There's no in-app purchase, which is a nice feature as well,
that.
so you don't have to worry about that.
it's a beautiful app.